If you want to make absurd amounts of money with live webinars, then this just may be the most important, beneficial, and highly effective webinar funnel training video that you ever watch. Because if you're watching this video, you may be familiar with the conventional webinar, right? Where at the end you pitch a course or you pitch a book, a call, but then your customer journey is capped, your LTV is minimal, you've got a bunch of non-buying leads on the back end, and you know that you can be making more cash with this vehicle, but you're unsure of how to do it. Now, if I'm speaking your love language at least a little, make sure you stay until the end of this video, because I'm going to be exposing this new type of webinar funnel strategy that allows you to kill all info birds with one stone. Now, what do I mean by that? With info birds, when this funnel is implemented, you'll be able to effectively sell your low ticket, mid ticket, and high ticket on ease with this one funnel. Now, before we dive in, I have released a more in-depth future video breaking down our webinar funnel strategies on how to maximize opt-in rates, sharp rates, conversion rates, the pre-reminder sequences to send, and things of that realm. That'll be linked inside the description. Make sure you watch that masterclass after this video. And if you're not already, respectfully, I don't know what you're doing, but I've got a daily info marketing and copywriting newsletter where every single day I send a newsletter on how to make more money with info marketing, better in your direct response, how to sign info product clients, and everything, right? So if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. But without further ado, let's dive in. So this new type of webinar funnel strategy, of course, it all stems from the traffic sources. Now, I took note of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 traffic sources. The first, TikTok. TikTok comes in two forms. We've got TikTok organic and TikTok paid. Now, we haven't diversified too deeply in TikTok. Some of our clients absolutely crush on the organic sides of things, but from what we've noticed, the lead quality is a bit less efficient, right? They're kind of like a bit poorer compared to, of course, the leads that you find on Meta or Instagram. So TikTok is still great. Of course, you target a specific ICP, but where we double down on is Meta, school, IG, and email list. Now with Meta, we do two types of ads that are run through Meta, right? The first one is strictly cold. Here, broad targeting, we don't do any lookalike audiences, no custom audiences, nothing on that realm. We just let Facebook work its magic and put our ads for the webinar funnel in front of these dream prospects. But on top of that, these are perfect examples. Like this one here, the top one that you see, right? Here was a retargeting campaign that we set up inside Meta that targeted all the people who engaged with the client's Instagram content over the past 365 days, right? They engaged, but they didn't buy. So we're presenting them the opportunity to attend this Grand Slam webinar where they can learn all these secrets, right? So if you use Meta, make sure you do cold traffic as well as retargeting. That's what bring the most people through the door, right? And our campaigns, well, our creative apologies are very simple. Like even if you see this one that we've done for a client is like, here's the benefit you learn, here's the outcome, and you don't need these objections, join the free class, right? Very, very simple. But I highly recommend when you're doing webinar funnels to diversify into Meta, you get like a lot more leads. Now, school, neglected strategy. If you are the offer owner who has got some sort of school community, they've been nurtured, right? You've built up these know, like, and trust elements with them inside your school community, and they may only be paying you low ticket now, like let's say $27 a month or $29 a month, right? But now you can present them the opportunity to attend this exclusive webinar, and then when they're on the webinar, you can sell them a high ticket product, which I'll be walking over in just a moment. So school is another great mechanism. Of course, inside school, you can do community posts. You can, when you like a post, you can press the option of send a post to all people via email so they can see it. You can get your setters to privately DM people inside school to get them to attend the webinar and things of that round. But school's another great mechanism. IG, once again, IG organic is golden. If you've got a huge following, or if your client has a huge following, you can do Instagram lives building up to the webinar. You can set up strategic posts before the webinar, getting people to opt into the webinar, and like a lot more mechanisms, right? And email list, once again, beautiful mechanism. If you've even got 5, 10, 50,000 people on your email list, you can set up a quick promotional sequence, get to them interested in this never done before webinar. Or if you have done a webinar before, of course, you can just get them to opt in with a cool message saying, here's what you'll be discovering, here are the secrets, and here's why it will benefit you, right? But it all starts with the traffic. You need diversification. You need diversification with organic and paid. Now, when your traffic is established, of course, all traffic, it goes into the same opt-in page where you're collecting these leads. Now, as I mentioned, I walked over these principles in like a lot more detail in one of my other YouTube videos, linked inside the description. But all of these leads, right, whether they come from organic or paid, they go to the same lead collection opt-in page, which kind of promises them the outcome that they'll be receiving and overcoming objections. Watch the YouTube video because it goes in like a lot more detail. Now, when someone, of course, opts in, what we do is here's where this webinar funnel strategy comes into place. When someone opts in, they're presented a low ticket product. Why? This low ticket product, of course, helps us self-liquidate our ad spend, but also gets people to commit, right? It's like we've noticed on weeks when our take rates on this one low ticket product was like insane, the webinar, like the live webinar offer performed like a lot better because people made them financial transactional relationships beforehand, right? So every single time, like for our clients, when someone opts in, one-time offer, and we kind of frame it as like an accelerated success bundle. Like if you buy this bundle and if you consume this bundle before the webinar, like you won't be maximizing your results. Like you won't have any objections or limitations, right? So here's where our low ticket product comes into play. Huge ROI, make sure you implement this. But now, of course, this was sold for $99. Depending on your ICP, you can sell it for $27, $9, right? Kind of play with the prices. It depends on your ICP. But what we do for all our clients, of course, people will be hesitant to the price, right? People were hesitant to this client's price of $99 a month. So what we done, we presented them a final opportunity to redeem the same material at a more affordable price, $67, right? Same offer components, but we just had like the framing of here's your final chance to get access to this bundle and to accelerate your success at a more affordable price, right? 67. But this is the first step of the equation. When someone opts in, we hand them a one-time low ticket product, which is our low ticket. So we're effectively selling the low ticket, right? And if you have an insane low ticket product, it's like with good offer components and like storytelling and things of that realm, your take rates will be good. Now, of course, when someone goes over these steps, they kind of see the products. The next step is, of course, the thank you page. Now, the thank you page, we've of course got it to maximize the sharp rates. In my previous YouTube masterclass, I have walked over these thank you page principles in like a lot more detail. But here we kind of get them to commit to the live masterclass, right? It's like, here's what you must do to make sure that you can attend live. Now here, quick kind of like rundown, but when someone, of course, goes on the thank you page, they're put inside our ESP and we send them emails. They get like RVMs, they get SMS, they get WhatsApp. We've got all these sequences, right? Like the previous masterclass, as I mentioned, a lot more ammo inside there for you to kind of consume. I just want to give you the overview of this funnel architecture. But we've, of course, got the low ticket, the downsell, the thank you page. And of course, all of these mechanisms, right? The email, the SMS, the RVM, and a WhatsApp group, it gets people excited, especially on the pre-webinar section. It gets them excited to attend this live training, right? The live training where we're building up know, like, and trust elements. We're introducing the client to these folks, telling the story, showcasing social proof, demonstrating ourselves as the authority. And this is a live training where we sell a 997 to 1497 do-it-yourself program. Keyword, do-it-yourself. This is completely course focused. We don't hand any coaching calls or weekly mastermind sessions or things of that realm. We don't. It's a do-it-yourself course where, of course, they can buy it for one-time fee and do everything alone. So here's like an example that we've done for a client, like a vending machine offer. Like this is like the first slide. But then when we transition to the offer, of course, we're introducing this program. We came up with some cool framing behind it. They press CTA, and then they could buy this extensive program. We split tested 1497, and then we put the price down to 997 after some split tests, and the 997 performed better. But the principle is, we sell a mid-ticket. We sell a 997 to 1497. Now, here's where it gets interesting. When someone buys this, of course, here we've got the sales page or the extensive order form page to guarantee this influx of buyers, right? Because if your order form page is weak, you won't convert webinar attendees. Like, of course, people, they sat through the webinar, they kind of have been indoctrinated and things of that realm, but The order form page, it overcomes the limitation to the max. We've got guarantee badges, we're offer stacking, we're highlighting social proof. So by the time they're on it, it's like the last thing for them to do is take action, right? So this is the order form page, similar structure to what we use for our live webinar funnel clients. They buy this 997 to 1497 course, right? And then we've got two kind of customer journeys, right? The first one, the people who sat through the webinar and they bought this do-it-yourself program, they fit into the buy category, of course, right? And the buyers, they're automatically redirected to a book call page to send live webinar buys into high-ticket 5K programs. But now you see, right, if someone buys this program at 997, then they attend this call and buys the 5K program, that customer has now spent is like 6K with you, right? So this step is really, really critical. And what you can do is, of course, here we kind of frame it as, I want to personally connect you with one of my senior consultants who will help you create a crystal clear game plan, right? You can kind of frame it in an intelligent way, frame it as like a roadmap session or like a assessment call. So you're maximizing them ascension rates. But the purpose of this is to ascend course buyers into high ticket clients. And what you can do as well, like this is what we've done for clients, is if someone has bought the program for 997 and your program costs 6K, we can credit them, right? We can give them access for this high ticket for a one-time investment of 5K, right? But you're maximizing cash collected. And what if, like you may be asking, what if someone buys this 997 or 1497 program and then they don't book a call when they're automatically redirected? Because we do this inside ClickFunnels, right? We've got SMSs, get them to book their call, emails, get them to book their call, and we've also got dialing on the back end, of course, our sales systems. Like we've got people dialing all our do-it-yourself buyers, get them to book their call for this ascension, right? So this is how you maximize revenue with the buyers. It's like your buyers, they bought this, they need ascension, they need something premium to accelerate their success. That's what this step does. Now this is for buyers, but then we've also got non-buyers, right? Those non-buyers who have sat through your live training, you've kind of injected propaganda, right? You've told your story, built up these elements, but for some reason they're still skeptical, right? They fit into this category. Now, for the non-buyers, the first thing that we do, they automatically put inside a did not buy sequence on the back end. Email, right? Now, very simple. We've got about a 6 email sequence, and email 1, email 2, email 3, like following these times. So email 1 is sent 3 hours after the Webby. Email 2 is sent 24 hours after the Webby, and email 3 sent 48 hours before, not after the Webby, apologies. We link these emails back to this main offer of 997 to 1497. The reason why is because, of course, maybe they need like another card, more social proof, or more risk reversal, etc. So we can get some buyers with these first emails, these 3 emails, apologies. But then what we've noticed, if someone still hasn't bought after email 3, it's typically a pricing objection. So now here's where it gets interesting, right? Here's where it gets interesting, because we've got the low ticket, we're selling that effectively. We've got this for yourself program, like mid ticket, 997, 1497. We've got the ascension, depending on how high your high ticket program is. But then here's what we do with these leads. Now, do it yourself course that squeezes out cash from these skeptical leads, right? When you attract a lot of registrants or attendees to your live training, you have a lot of leads who sat through your Webby but didn't buy this course when you pitched it, right? And from what we've noticed after doing this for like 2-3 years, webinar funnels religiously, people don't buy your main offer for one of 2 reasons. 1 is a belief limitation, and 2 is a money limitation. And most often than not, it is the money limitation, because if you conducted your webinar correctly, right, you should have overcame all the belief limitations and perceived yourself as that guy or that girl who overcome their problems or worked them towards a dream outcome, right? Like you flooded them with social proof, told your story, like all these things, right? Like you should have overcome the belief limitation. It's what a webinar funnel is meant for, right? They spend 90 minutes with you and you build up these elements with them. So to maximize cash collected with your webinar, especially if you get like a bunch of leads, implement a downsell offer that hands your customers a similar dream outcome at a more affordable price. Now, we've done this exact same thing for a client, like a webinar funnel client, and collected over $113,000 in cash in less than 4 weeks. And the best part, all we did was tap into these warm leads that sat through the webinar but didn't buy. They didn't buy this course. They didn't buy the 997 to 1497 course, right? Now, to do this successfully, like what we done, is very simple. First, we create a new program, like a new program portal. And to do this successfully is very easy. First thing that you do is create a new program portal. It needs to be a new program. You can't sell the same program at like a cheaper price because people will not trust you, right? And then what you do after that is condense your main program, like you remove some offer components, bonuses, and make it entry level. With this offer right here, right? It's like an Amazon offer. On where he sold a 1497 Amazon offer that was extensive. It had like done for you templates, Shopify, dropshipping. It went like extremely in depth, right? What we done, we condensed the program, removed some offer components, removed all the bonuses, and framed this as like an entry level product, right? So that's what you can do. If you've got a super extensive course, like you can just remove some stuff and just come up with this new frame so it's perceived as new. So make it like entry level, because of course these guys, they have got these pricing objections. We priced this at like, this offer was about 497. You can price it at 297, like feel free to test the waters. And then after you've of course condensed this program and you've got all the course components in one program portal, the first thing that you do is craft a sales page, super simple one, that perceives this new program as brand new. Because the last thing you want happening is confusion happening with the program presented on the way and this one, right? Like this one here, it was called the Premium Profit Path. But the offer that we sold on the webinar for this Amazon client, there was no mention of the Premium Profit Path. It was another mechanism, all-inclusive e-commerce brand building program, right? We came up with a clear differentiation. And then when you, of course, got a sales page, super simple, email, SMS to target these warm attendees of your webinar who didn't buy your main offer. Inside your did not buy automations, that means emails 4, 5, and 6. If they still haven't bought after email 6, they are a little bit more skeptical. They need a lot more nurturing. Like you can even send them ongoing campaigns or get someone to dial them, but you kind of get the gist, right? So that's, of course, the webinar funnel strategy, because as you see, right, we've got a diverse portfolio of offers that stem from this one funnel. We've got a low ticket downsell, a do-it-yourself mid-ticket 997, 1497. We've got a high ticket like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9K, however much your high ticket is. And then we've also got a entry-level mid-ticket. So we're kind of activating all possible routes, and this is the best selling mechanism. So that's, of course, this new type of webinar funnel strategy that allows you to maximize cash collected. You're killing 3 birds with 1 stone, and yeah, it's highly effective. Make sure you implement it. And as I said, I have released a more in-depth YouTube video on the webinar funnel, and that'll be linked inside the description alongside my newsletter. So on my newsletter, I also send some webinar funnel games, so you may receive an email on webinar funnels. But yeah, that's of course me. I'm out, and to the next video. Let's make some bread.